Hi, everyone. Well, I'm all excited today because this is a first, and I love first. My guest is from Regina, Saskatchewan, and he's the program director at 620 CKRM. Welcome to the show. Oh, yeah, it's right up behind him there.
Yes, thanks for having me, Nancy. Appreciate it.
So how long have you been doing that job?
I've been in Regina for about 4 years now, but I got into radio back in 1993, right out of high school. So I've been kind of bouncing all over the prairies for almost 30 years now.
So what does a production manager do? Or what? Yeah.
Program director?
Sorry.
Yeah, all good. It's basically we're responsible for pretty much everything that comes out of the speakers of a radio station. So we basically coordinate all the different departments within the radio station. So I'm responsible for the announcers and overseeing the music departments and work with the promotions departments, work alongside sales, our engineering and technical departments, all that stuff. Just kind of make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to, basically.
So how many programs do you have a day?
Well, my station's very unique because we have a few different things going on, like not like your normal station where they would play music and maybe have a morning show and a midday show and an afternoon show. We have a lot of those pieces, but we also have some agricultural programming that happens at lunch. We have a sports talk show called the Sports Cage, and that basically runs 4 to 6:30 Monday to Friday. We do rider broadcasts, which we're getting ready for here right away as the CFL season is about to start, and those are about 9 hours long. So whenever there's a rider football game, we've got that. So those are pretty busy. We do hockey broadcasts. There's just lots. There's lots to juggle and put together, but every day is different.
Every day is different. Well, that's nice. I think that'd be great. Right? So that, you don't get bored because something different is happening all the time. It's like what I do. It's always different. So it's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So you said now you started doing this right after high school. Well, but didn't you need some training?
I did. I just was obsessed with radio right out of high school. And so I was lucky enough that I got hired part-time right out of the gates and kind of learned a little bit of stuff. And I did that part-time and DJ'd at a nightclub and whatever else I could do. And then after a couple of years of kind of doing that, I did go to Lethbridge and I took my broadcast journalism. Oh, okay. And then I came back and then have been kind of rocking full-time ever since then.
Right. Now it says you were the former marketing and sales coordinator at Nexsource Power Inc.
Yes.
So
so I had a little gap in between my radio career for a couple of years. I had got let go when I was in Red Deer, and my daughter was in grade 10 at the time, and we had moved a lot through her life up to that point. So it didn't feel like the time to move the family. So I needed to find something where we lived. And thankfully, my friends at Nexsource Power, which is a power generation company that works alongside the oil and gas company industry, that had offered me a job doing some marketing and stuff for them. So I was able to stay and work in Sylvan Lake where we were. I didn't have to make a move and gave me purpose, if you will.
Yeah,
it was good. I got to learn a few different things that I'd never done before. So it was a lot different than radio. That's
now getting back to radio, I was just thinking about how so many things, so many jobs were affected by COVID, but radio wouldn't have the same kind of problem, would it?
It did. Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, we rely solely on advertising and, to generate revenues. So during COVID, it came as no surprise that a lot of companies stopped advertising and marketing because same thing, were trying to watch their bottom line and they didn't really know how things were going to go. And so the money coming in the doors was a lot less than it had been. And so to make sure, we were able to make payroll and stuff, unfortunately, we did have to make some changes and some cuts in our company as well, which was very, very hard to do. And they had to restructure a few things. And somehow I got lucky enough that I got to stay employed. It was a weird time, obviously, for all of us, but not just our company, right across the board in the broadcast industry, there was lots of changes that were made, unfortunately.
Okay. I'm just wondering, because we're just thinking about, like for me, having COVID changed it for a good way, with having Zoom, because now I can interview people no matter where they are, right?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, honestly, like I said, you want to take positives out of, a tough situation. It's definitely gave us the ability to get good at this and talking to people. And so now when we have artists, bigger artists, we'll say from Nashville, that normally wouldn't, it'd just be a phone interview. Well, now it's Zoom. So you get to sit and actually have a conversation with somebody that you wouldn't normally have been able to see face to face. And then we're able to like record it like you are and repurpose it, and the world can see it. So it's given us kind of another tool to use in radio as we evolve into a digital world. And it's been a real bonus in that regard, I think. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Or just thinking about another thing too, is like, have you ever had any kind of a problem that while things were being aired, you just didn't know what to do or how to fix or whatever, something you can remember?
I mean, there's always technical difficulties. I mean, we're just, we're a radio station and we use computers for a lot of things that we do. And sometimes they crash and, sometimes storms roll through and knocks out our power and we're not able to be on the air. So you just have to learn to pivot and find different ways. And we have emergency plans in place for, things that might happen. And I guess probably a recent example of a real curveball was the building that our radio station is in. We share it with government in Saskatchewan. So there's some people that are beside us in the same facility. Well, somebody had left a bag in the parkade and nobody knew whose bag it was. And so the building was evacuated because of potential bomb threat.
Yeah.
And this was about 5 minutes before my sports talk show was about to go on the air. And, somebody has to run the board and there's guys talking and stuff. And it was like, we don't, the way the system is set up, there's no music scheduled. So we can't just let it go. It would just be all commercials for nonstop. So we literally grabbed up some broadcast gear for being on location if we were live somewhere, and we ran down the street. I only live a block away, and we set up in my condo. And the show was live from my condo and we ran it all from there. That was a very unique situation, to say the least, but it worked.
Hey, I'm in my condo. That's how I run my show. But without all the technical stuff.
Yes.
So what do you do for your downtime?
I don't know. I love music. I love sports. I love to, in the summertime, go golfing or whatever. And now the concerts are back, I like to go to concerts. I love just visiting with friends and family. And so when I get a chance to hang out with my daughter in Calgary or wherever, that's really what I like to do. And sometimes I like to just veg and watch TV or a movie or whatever it may be and just not do anything.
Yeah, right. So now speaking of downtime, what are your hours at work?
I'm usually here from 8:30 to 5:30, Monday to Friday. That's a standard, but it varies because we're, kind of on call. If something goes awry and we got to be here in an evening or a weekend or whatever it may be, then we do that. Like I said, we got a football game coming up and that, we'll be going until after midnight tomorrow. So you just shift your hours accordingly and try not to burn yourself out.
So that time when you went to your condo and took over from there, do you like actually being on air?
Yeah, I mean, I've spent years being an announcer. My role now is more behind the scenes. I do fill in when needed. So if somebody's on holidays or sick and we don't have enough bodies, I'll jump on the air and cover that show for the time being. And it's fun. It's one of the things that I was fascinated about when I got into radio. I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world that I could sit in a room and talk and people all over the place could hear me and interact and stuff. So I still get a rush out of doing that for sure.
So is 620 considered a big station?
Yeah, we have one of the biggest signals in Canada, to be honest. We're an AM radio station based out of Regina, but our signal basically goes border to border and beyond there. So our signal will go all the way into, the Western Saskatchewan, into Alberta. We go down into the States. We go east into Manitoba, and then we go up north past Saskatoon. It's a huge radius. It's, but it works good. We're, we're AM country. really in touch with our farmers and the agricultural community. And that's a big portion of rural Saskatchewan is the farming community. So it works out pretty good for us, the signal. It's just interesting when you get calls from people that are so far away for contests and things like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I never thought about that. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool, right? So what kind of sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we just wrapped up what we call a country cookout. So every spring and fall, spring and harvest time, we'll go out and we will feed a farmer and their family. And we do it twice a week where we all jump in a truck and we get a big spread of roast beef, mashed potatoes, pierogies, cabbage rolls, all that good stuff. And we'll go drive an hour or 2 hours away to wherever the farmers are, and we'll set it up and have a big buffet meal. And I usually bring a local recording artist with us who will sing some tunes for them. And we just get to sit and have some quality time with our listeners, which is pretty amazing. So we just wrapped that up last week. We spent the past 4 weeks driving all over Saskatchewan having dinner. So it was good.
That sounds so awesome. It really does. What kind of contests do you have?
I mean, like I said, we try to target our demographic, which again is that, but we also, now that we've got concerts, we give away lots of concert tickets. Before COVID, we were doing one called Classified Country, and that's where people would win their way to a show, but they didn't know who was playing at the show. They'd only find out when they came on stage. Oh. So that was kind of a cool thing. Give away money, give away football tickets. Yeah, just whatever, whenever we're creative and come up with something unique to do, that's what we do.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. Actually, I really like that,
People like winning things, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Even if it's sometimes it's stuff they don't need or want. It's just the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm just thinking, I've gotten tickets for hockey and it's like, I don't want them. But I won. So that was kind of cool,
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I have anything against hockey anymore, just not my thing. I used to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know what else to ask. I mean, it's really interesting, like I said, it was my first time interviewing somebody who program director at a radio station. So that's kind of cool for me. I like that. I like learning new things. And I appreciate you doing this with me. And thank you again for accommodating me with changing the time.
No, all good. Yeah. No, it's all good. It's again, I appreciate the invites and I think we got to take time to just get to know and learn other people and what they do. And radio's a pretty fun world. It's ever evolving and we're just kind of holding on for the ride.
Yeah, I listen to a lot. Mostly I listen to CBC. And when you said that it's ever evolving, or just thinking about, how many times over the years CBC has changed some of their programming. For whatever reasons, right? I don't know, like, they used to have Finkelman's 45s as an example, and then that became something else and over the years. So
yeah, sometimes you got to freshen things up. Sometimes your hosts move on.
Yeah.
It just depends on, what's going on. And we've had to, battle against satellite radio and battle against the digital, platforms that are trying to be radio now and all that kind of stuff. But again, it just keeps us on our toes and we just, again, we take advantage of digital media now and incorporate it into, what we're doing. So.
Well, great. Well, thanks for doing this with me. And just stay on camera for a second. I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Abbey White. As I said, he's the program director at 620 CKRM, Regina, Saskatchewan. It's right behind him. He did that both times. Now, normally I have my sign up here that says small talk, but it's not. It's just a little higher up at the moment. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching, and be nice and peace out, everyone.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.